Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the ScaleSmart AI Podcast. Today, I'm joined by Aaron Monaco. Aaron is the VP of Property Management at Cap Management. They're a sustainability-focused HOA management company overseeing 85 associations with over 5,000 doors under management. They're based in Denver, Colorado, and Aaron has a very fascinating background, going from chef to now an industry leader helping to innovate the property management sector. In this episode, we'll dig into how AI is already reshaping property management, how Cap Management uses tools like a chatbot to handle hundreds of homeowner inquiries, and where Aaron sees the biggest opportunities for automation going forward. Let's get into the conversation.
Aaron, do you mind just telling us a little bit about what Cap Management does?
Cap Management is a HOA property management company located in the Denver metro area, where our office is right downtown. We focus on sustainability. In fact, the owner of the company touts us as a sustainability company that manages associations. So that's truly our goal and ideology.
Nice. That's good to hear. And Aaron, obviously it's you must have an interesting story about how you got to your current role as VP of Property Management. So I'd love to hear how you got started in property management and what led you to your current role today.
Yeah, that's so I'm a chef, and I have a friend who owned a property management company, and we knew each other from outside organizations. He saw me running some meetings and came to me and said, "Hey, you seem to be able to talk to people. I have this job that I need some help with. If you were interested, I could pay you X amount of money a month." And I said, that's pretty cool. It's as a part-time gig. And I took on one association and two, and then I was managing four for a period of about 3 years. And he came to me and said, we really need you to come on full-time. So I came on. I was made the senior community manager after some time. And 3 years ago, I was promoted to VP. It's been an interesting journey.
Nice. Yeah, that's definitely an incredible story. It just goes to show that you're a very dynamic person that can do a lot of things well. So hats off to you. What's your favorite meal to cook, by the way?
People ask me that all the time. So I coming from the East Coast, everyone worked in Italian. That's definitely a favorite. But I will say something, and I've cooked French and Mexican and Mediterranean, and even Cuban. Cuban was great, but I think I can tell you the thing that I would like to do is more Asian. I never worked Asian, in a culinary sense, and it seems so very interesting. So I like to cook anything. When people come over to eat dinner at our place, if we have an invitation, I just tell them, what would you like? And just whatever it is you like, I'll make it. So it's I'm more than capable.
Nice. Yeah, your family must love you for that. Family and friends. Always
yes,
amazing.
They do. Yeah.
Sweet. And I guess going back to your role, what does a typical day look like for the VP of Property Management?
It starts early and goes late. I am spending most of my time trying to get through emails, responding to homeowners and board members, being of assistance to the team that I get to manage. My role with them is to train, support, and assist their day-to-day management of associations. We at CAP manage 85 HOAs around the Denver metro area. It is busy, that I can say that for sure. Putting out fires is another just day-to-day endeavor that you may plan for a day and look at your schedule and say, hey, here's how the day is going to go, and it'll go wildly off course. But that's what we do.
Yeah, I could definitely imagine that. And obviously being in Denver, you guys get all 4 seasons. So that probably makes things a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, it can. Sometimes you say to yourself, oh, as we're coming up on winter, it'll be slower. And there'll be issues with snow removal or leaking or, any number of things. So it always keeps us on our toes.
Yeah, I can imagine. And I guess, taking a step forward towards, AI, really curious about your overall opinion of AI in business today. Do you think it's a lot of hype, or do you think it's making a real impact?
Yeah, I feel that it's making an impact. Believe me, when I first started it, I wondered how this would look, in business, in our specific business. But we've been using an AI feature for the last 3 years that's linked with our software, and it works incredibly well. I can say that we just went to a conference, a national conference, industry-wide, and this question was posed. And one of these statements that was made by a panel of guests that were speaking was that, there's a concern that AI is going to take your job. And someone made the correction that it's not going to be that. It'll be someone who knows AI better than you that will take your job. And I said, wow, that's insightful.
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the best kind of examples I heard a while back when I was in university was, back in the day, majority of the population were farmers. And, that's kind of what people were doing. And I think, the interesting fact is as technology started to get more advanced, we have tractors and so many other different technologies that make farming a lot more efficient. Now we have way less people in farming, but we produce way more food. And I mean, did all those people lose their jobs? I think, some of them did, but it's just a transition, right? People get more skilled, learn new skills. In our case now, learning how to use AI, live with it. And it's just a transition phase.
I agree.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an interesting topic. But in terms of, real estate or property management, how are you seeing AI starting to influence property management in particular?
I've seen different applications, and some of them just recently that are interesting. I think they have benefit. I can say that we've been using Stan AI for 3 years as a means to address homeowner questions. They will send a text to a number, and this AI feature will respond. And the first month that we used it, there were 676 calls that would have been to managers that were instead a text to Stan, and owners got a response. Anytime there's information that Stan doesn't know, we'll get an escalation, but that's fairly few. So it was a front-loaded feature. So there was a series of questions, extensive questions that were uploaded. But since that time, there have been 2 new iterations of Stan Nitro and now Stan Turbo, and they are utilizing the upload of governing documents, contracts, a variety of sources of information that they will then search. Rather than us providing the information, they will go get the information from what's available to us as well. So much more, yeah, it's a better results. There was a lot of concern from members of our team, that they had to spend all this time, and you had to do it for every association that you manage. Some managers will have, 8 associations, so that could be a lot of work. Now it saves you time on the other side of it, but a lot of upfront work.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, it's good on you guys for doing that. I think it goes to show that you're an innovative company, and that's always great for both customers and users. Curious in terms of, what made you guys get Stan AI? Was it just like a big problem that you guys were facing and you're like, oh gosh, like I wish we had a way to solve this, and then someone started doing research and stumbled upon Stan AI, or how did you guys look into it?
Well, I mean, part of our value is embracing and driving transformational change. So we are trying to stay as best as we can on the cutting edge of technology, especially technology that will help us work more efficiently, much like you were talking about the farmers now with, computerized, machinery that one person takes care of an entire field rather than, a dozen people doing that work. So we're looking for better ways for ourselves to serve the clients that we have as efficiently as possible. Like I said, this job can be demanding, long hours, but if we can be more efficient, it just helps everybody get out of the office and get back to their lives.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. And I guess in terms of voice AI, is that ever something you guys considered or thought of doing? I know some folks like to use SMS or chatbots, some prefer to call. Is that an area that you explored as well?
We haven't explored that as yet, but I'm certainly open to it. It sounds like a fantastic feature. But yeah, right now it is just in this text feature. But yeah, I feel that would be beneficial, but we would have to, of course, want to see what the testing looked like. Obviously, we wouldn't want a response to go out that wasn't completely accurate. That could be damaging for our reputation. I don't know the feeling of clients who would normally call and get a person, then would get a voice bot. But we're all moving in that direction. So I feel, as a society, I feel that you have to kind of feel this is coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, just hats off to you for always, thinking of what's possible and trying to improve the company. That's always good to see. And I guess in terms of more of the operations, like when tenants or owners reach out, do you typically get more inquiries from tenants or owners, or is it, like 50-50?
So mostly it's going to be owners, but certainly tenants are a part of the community population. So there'll be inquiries from them as well. Everyone does have access, so we do our best to help in any way. It's wide open.
Gotcha. And I guess what types of questions or issues do you find coming up most often with owners, and then curious also with tenants?
We don't necessarily see the questions unless they are escalated to us. But I can tell you that the inquiries revolve about what their association assessments are going to be. Are they allowed to have, kids around the pool? It's a variety of just normal day-to-day questions. When are my assessments due? How late will the pool be open this year? When is the next HOA meeting? That's one that I've seen for sure. And then, some detailed questions. There are inquiries that will be, what aspects of the governing documents are applicable for me. So it can be a variety of inquiries.
Yeah. And I guess, do you find that most of these questions could be answered by existing documents or FAQs that you guys already have published?
I don't think, it would be an extensive list of FAQs to cover the broad range of questions that are posed. I don't know that we would be able to prep all of that information in a way that would be useful. And I think no matter how much that you would put into it, there would still be something that wasn't included.
Yeah, that makes sense. As you were saying those questions, I always fall into the trap of like, I'm going to go call somebody, or like I'm going to send a message, a text, and I want an answer quick. And I'm assuming that Stan AI probably helps you guys with a lot of that already, right?
It absolutely does, because it is incredibly quick. You get a response within a couple of minutes. And that's, I think, what owners and residents are expecting. We've moved, from this point where customer service has changed dramatically. I'm of an age that, you call somebody and you got their front desk or their receptionist and you posed questions and, they were directed to someone else, but there was this touch, a human touch to it. And this feels a little bit more like a human touch. In fact, we find it very funny that we've gotten calls from owners who said, I want to talk to Stan. Stan's not a person. They don't realize it because they're texting Stan and Stan responds. And so they think there's actually a person on our staff named Stan.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah. I love this guy. I got to talk to him. Where is he?
Exactly.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I guess, where do you think your team spends the most time currently that could be automated as well?
So that's a great question. Where we're spending the most of our time is with email. Email is so much of our day. I personally get, 100 maybe even 150 a day. It takes a lot. Many I can just, review and just put into a file. Others need a response. And then sometimes, emails will need a half hour to put together information, to gather, references to provide for someone. And that's incredibly time consuming. So I'm part of a group, a networking group that this week met, and there were members on the call that were talking about Fixer. Fixer is a AI feature that will respond to your emails. So it'll go through your emails, organize them, and draft responses that you can then send or edit, but at least get you started. So I saw the trial, and I'm thinking about signing up for it because that sounds wonderful. I of course have apprehension. I like a hands-on approach. I want to make sure that the information that I'm conveying is accurate. I have my own writing style, but it was noted that after you use the feature for a period of time, it learns to write in your voice. So there were people who, gave a little bit of a testimonial after using it, saying it sounds just like me. So that was something that I'm excited, about the potential.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a really cool tool. And I mean, for sure, email is still such a big way that we communicate with everybody, and automating that, I think, definitely saves a lot of time. So yeah, that's definitely an interesting tool I got to look into as well. And I guess, are there any other departments at Cap Management that are already also leveraging AI?
No, not so much. We have a team called Heartbeat, and they are the ones who oversee the Stan AI for us. Heartbeat is calls coming in, work orders being initiated. They are our first touch, so everything revolves around them. Hence the name Heartbeat. So they oversee the use and the implementation of the different formats of Stan that we've used. But then that filters down to the community managers. But other departments, not so much. I do believe there's probably questions that are being answered for every department through the Stan AI feature for accounting or our office manager who does transactions, but nothing that is separate from that.
Gotcha. That makes sense. And I guess, do you think that there's AI that could help automate different processes that those departments have?
Yes, I'm sure that there is. We haven't explored it as yet. Believe me, the onboarding of these new features, we're just now onboarding Stan Nitro. It takes some time, and so we're probably going to allow an opportunity for us to become acclimated, because we need some help with that as well. And then once that the dust is settled, we can start exploring other options.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And for sure, these tools definitely are not simple to integrate, but definitely with time, long term, obviously the hours that it saves you and the different teams at the company hopefully will be beneficial.
Yeah.
And I guess, how do you see AI voice or chat agents or other tools fitting into property management in the future?
So I don't know of other companies that are using these features as yet. I'm sure that there are, but we're pretty close with the peers in our industry, and I don't know that it is as widespread. But I think if I'm asked about it, I always express how grateful I am that we took this leap of faith and tried to utilize these AI features. It just is, I think there'll be more of it, to say the least. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess if you could wave a magic wand, what's one challenge that you'd love AI to solve for you, other than
I don't know if there's something other than the email. That if you got rid of the time I spend on emails, that would allow a tremendous amount of my working life back. I would be eternally grateful if I got to the point where I felt confident that the drafts that I was receiving were in my voice, they were accurate, and I could just hit a button and say send. That would be amazing. That would be more than I could ask for.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, yeah, we'll definitely continue doing some more research to see how we can help with that. And yeah, I guess any other things that you wish could be solved with AI in the property management space in particular?
I know that there's, if I'm using ChatGPT, I'm able to input budgets and take a look from one year over the other, the variances, and it'll do an assessment, a comparative assessment of the one budget to another, or it'll break down the variances for a set of financials. That is fantastic. Now I'm just now starting to utilize that, but that's another aspect of AI that I think is incredibly helpful. The budget process can be detailed and take quite a bit of time to gather information, and this seems like it could streamline that process.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I hear that problem come up often. Finances are definitely one aspect that can be tedious, and it's easy to have human error, right? So, when a machine does all that number crunching for you, it's definitely helpful. So, well, Aaron, thank you so much for the time today. I know that you're incredibly busy. Thank you for being a leader in the space, and for believing in innovation and always exploring different ways to help automate the business that will help your clients and customers. So yeah, appreciate your time, and best of luck with everything that you guys got going on at Cap Management.
Thank you so very much.
Cheers.